Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by rolling green hills, there lived a wise old farmer. He had spent his whole life tending his land, growing golden fields of wheat, and caring for his animals. Among them was an old donkey, a loyal creature that had worked alongside him for many years. The donkey was no longer young. Its back had grown weak, and its steps had slowed. But still, the farmer cared for it, feeding it every day and letting it rest in the shade of a great oak tree. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, the donkey wandered too close to an old, abandoned well at the edge of the farm. The ground crumbled beneath its hooves, and with a startled bray, the donkey tumbled down into the deep, dark hole. The farmer, hearing the desperate cries of his old friend, rushed to the well. He peered over the edge and saw the donkey at the bottom, pacing in confusion, its eyes wide with fear. The farmer sighed heavily. The well was too deep, and the donkey was too old to be lifted out easily. The villagers gathered around, shaking their heads.
"It's an old donkey,"
one man said.
"Even if we get it out, it won't be of much use anymore. The well is dry and dangerous."
Another added.
"Perhaps we should just fill it in and put an end to its suffering."
The farmer hesitated. He loved the donkey, but what could he do? He didn't want to see it suffer, and perhaps covering the well would prevent other animals from falling in. So, with a heavy heart, he nodded.
"Let's do it,"
he said quietly. The villagers grabbed their shovels and began tossing dirt into the well. Clumps of earth rained down, landing on the donkey's back. At first, the animal panicked. It shook its body, braying loudly, confused by what was happening. More dirt fell. The donkey felt the weight pressing down on it. Was this how it would end? Buried alive in the darkness. But then, something changed. The donkey stopped panicking. It took a deep breath, steadied itself, and did something incredible. With each load of dirt that fell, the donkey shook it off, and then stepped on top of it. Again and again, the villagers shoveled dirt into the well. Again and again, the donkey shook it off and stepped up. At first, no one noticed. But as time passed, something astonishing began to happen. The donkey was rising. With every bit of dirt thrown in, it climbed higher and higher. The villagers gasped. What they thought would bury the donkey was actually helping it escape. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the donkey's ears appeared above the rim of the well. Then its head, then its shoulders, and then, with one final step, it was free. The villagers stood in silence, staring in disbelief. The donkey shook off the last bit of dust, raised its head high, and walked away, stronger than before. The old farmer smiled, a tear in his eye. His donkey, once thought to be helpless, had taught them all a lesson they would never forget. This story teaches us something powerful about life. Many times, life throws dirt on us. We face struggles, failures, and moments when it feels like everything is falling apart. But just like the donkey, we have two choices: give up and be buried by our struggles, or shake them off and rise above them. Each challenge we face can either break us or build us. The dirt meant to bury us can actually be the very thing that lifts us up, if we have the courage to keep stepping up. So, the next time life tries to push you down, remember the donkey. Shake it off. Step up. Keep going. Because no matter how deep the well may seem, you have the strength to climb out. Before you go, I just want to say, thank you for being here. If this story touched you, there's so much more to come. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you love stories that make you think, feel, and see the world differently, make sure to subscribe. That way, you won't miss the next one. And if this story reminded you of someone, share it with them. You never know, it might be exactly what they need to hear today. Looking forward to seeing you in the next story. Take care.